Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. It began as something she claimed was harmless. A joke, she said. We were getting ready to attend a close friend's anniversary celebration when she paused in front of the mirror, pulling on a sleek black dress that demanded attention without trying. I told her how incredible she looked. She chuckled, dismissing the compliment the way she'd started doing lately. Careful, she teased, securing her earrings with a grin. At this rate, I might end up with 2 guys half your age tonight. She laughed like it was nothing. But the words landed quietly and painfully, like a bruise you don't notice until later. I forced a smile, the kind men learn to wear to avoid arguments that lead nowhere. Maybe you will, I said, adjusting my tie. Just hope they can cover the bill. She rolled her eyes. You're so dramatic. Once we would have laughed together. Back then teasing didn't sting. Now, every joke felt sharpened, like she was testing how far she could push before something finally cracked. She changed over the past few months. Always scrolling, always distracted, always somewhere else. I'd never been the suspicious type, but when someone stops looking at you with warmth, you feel it. Slowly. Quietly. Like damage spreading under the surface. At the dinner she shined. Laughing loudly, leaning in close, touching arms, feeding off the attention in the room. I sat beside her, nodding at conversations I barely heard, watching her like a stranger performing a role I no longer recognized. When someone joked about how she still had so much energy, she flashed a playful smile. Must be all the younger company I've been keeping lately. The table exploded with laughter. I didn't say anything. I finished my drink, smiled politely, and made a decision. If she wanted to treat my pride like a toy, I'd show her what happened when a man stopped begging to be valued. The next morning I booked something meaningful. A quiet, private weekend away. Just not for her. I'd spent too many years trying to be the patient husband, the forgiving one, the man who swallowed discomfort to keep the peace. I wanted to remember who I was before I became the punchline. When I told her I'd be gone for the weekend, she frowned. Where are you going? Somewhere I don't have to be the joke, I answered calmly. She laughed, but this time the confidence was missing. Later that night she went out with her coworkers. A crowd I never fully trusted. Too much drinking. Too much flirting. Too many late nights. I wished her fun and went back to my book, but something inside me shifted. Not because I believed she meant her words literally, but because she was comfortable saying them at all. Comments like that don't appear overnight. They grow from distance, from carelessness, from someone testing how much disrespect you'll tolerate. When the door closed behind her, the silence felt suffocating. I thought about every moment I'd brushed off her remarks. Every laugh I forced when she flirted openly. Every jab about my age, my work, my seriousness. I realized I'd been shrinking myself inside my own marriage, making myself smaller so she could feel bigger. That night I stopped. Not out of spite. Out of self-respect. I didn't pack clothes. I reorganized my priorities. I called an old friend who owned a lakeside cabin a couple of hours away and reserved it for the weekend. Then I sent her a message. Don't wait up. I'll be gone before you're home. No anger. No argument. Just truth. She didn't reply. When she came home close to 2 a.m. she called out for me, half tipsy, half curious. But the house was dark. My side of the bed untouched. My closet missing more than usual. On the kitchen counter I'd left a note. You joked about finding younger men. I hope they make you smile the way I once did. The next morning my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Texts, calls, voice messages. Each one more frantic than the last. The laughter was gone. Panic had taken its place. Maybe that's when it finally clicked. Love isn't something you mock. You either honor it or you lose it. 3 days later she showed up at the cabin. She didn't look powerful anymore. Her eyes were swollen, her hair undone, her confidence stripped away. When she said my name, her voice broke. I was sitting on the porch, coffee cooling in my hands, watching fog drift across the lake. She stood there silently, gripping the note like it was the last thread tying her to me. I didn't mean it, she said. It was only a joke. I smiled, not from bitterness but from understanding. That's exactly the issue, I replied gently. You stopped taking the important things seriously and started laughing at them instead. She sat down, her words spilling out. She talked about that night, how she laughed, flirted, chased attention she didn't even want. How it all felt empty. How walking into the house and finding me gone felt like losing the ground beneath her feet. She admitted she'd expected me to call. To argue. To fight. But I didn't. And that silence, she said, hurt more than any shouting ever could. For the first time in years, I listened without interrupting. And for the first time in years, she listened when I spoke. I told her how every joke had worn me down. How each comparison to someone younger or more exciting chipped away at my sense of worth. How words, even spoken lightly, still leave marks. She cried then, not loudly, not dramatically. Just quiet tears, the kind that come when reality finally sinks in. "I thought you'd never leave," she whispered. "I thought you'd always stay no matter what." I stood, set my mug aside and said softly, "That's exactly why I had to." As I walked past her, she reached for my hand. I didn't stop. I wasn't leaving out of anger anymore. I was leaving because I'd already done the hardest thing, choosing myself. Driving down the gravel road, I watched her fade in the mirror until she disappeared completely. Like the echo of a joke that was never funny at all. Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers.